Ladies, gentlemen, and our NB comrades, welcome back here to the South American lower division of the DPC. We are continuing with this hype, continuing with this action, continuing with the journey into the upper division, and potentially for one of these teams, the journey to TI. We'll see how all of that goes. And this game is going to be electric. The two teams right now sitting at the top of the leaderboard, Infinity on the one side, Balrog Esports on the other side. It's going to be a cracker of a matchup. And to bring you the action, it's going to be myself, Snare, with the expert, the man who knows everything about South American Dota there is to know. Astini, welcome. So glad to finally work with you. How are you feeling today and how you feel about this here matchup?
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here with you. It's a pleasure to be casting this match that I'm very excited to see, especially after Wolf lost. This feels like the team that wins here might guarantee their spot on first division. I know it's still the third round, but both sitting on 2-0, it's a very important match, and we might be seeing the best two teams on that second division that might go to the first division.
Before we get into the draft though, right? Before you see anything, this is one of these things where often nowadays Dota is extremely draft-centric, but just off the basis of your intuition from what you've seen and from the secrets you have from the scrims behind the scenes, who are you predicting? Who do you think has the better chance of taking this matchup directly?
Balrogs. I think they'll pick Medusa right now when we move to the picks. And since they have that, they start with first pick. I believe they might win the first game and get some momentum for the series that might be very helpful for them. But Infinity, they're super good. So it's not like just saying Balrogs will win. It's going to be an amazing match. But I feel like Balrogs, they have more of a comfort zone.
All right, let's see if Balrogs, the creatures from the deep of Minas Morgul? No, I actually don't remember. Anyway, let's get into it. The first draft is on. It's going to be Affinity versus Balrogs. Let's see what we have for ourselves here.
go for mid laner and put Kunkka as 3. Okay.
Night Stalker.
So,
Okay. 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 Last pick, Night Stalker. Alrighty. I suppose, you are playing with Mirana. I wanted to actually bring this up earlier and say that whenever we see this Mirana, Disruptor, these sort of heroes that want to be able to either create or play around vision, Night Stalker is like a natural complement to that. It gets added to the mix now, and it shows up here at the very end of the draft. I don't know if I fully like it. It does feel like the timing for Infinity requires them to have very good lanes, and if they don't, I really don't want to see what this team looks like if they're playing catch-up. It feels like they don't have the easiest time playing from behind, and it does feel like they need so many items for them to be able to get the effective jump here onto this Medusa. Feels like it's going to be a little bit of a hard one for them to achieve in that regard.
it feels like a good Night Stalker game if you look at the enemy team. Like, it's super good against that backline to jump in the Wyvern, the Sky, provides vision for his team. But on the other hand, I see like, if I have Kunkka, TA, Ogre, you want to just like fight nonstop because you're not on any cooldowns. That's the beauty about TA, is like a hard carry that you are not relying on any cooldowns. But on the other hand, Night Stalker, it feels like you can fight every 5 minutes. So if it's daytime, okay, you have your ultimate for a while, but you feel so powerless. I don't know if I like how it fits on that lineup, especially feeling that they're playing against the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm also trying not to do this. Sometimes you see these lost picks and you don't feel really that positive about them. And you can wind up in the situation where you become very, very negative, right? You wind up just being like, oh gosh, this is just going to go south. So I do think that the one positive thing that I really do like about the Night Stalker is it's not a lane where, yes, you don't win against the Medusa by any stretch of the imagination, but you should have enough help with the Mirana not to die. And with Mirana being able to, for the most part, get stacks going from you from pretty far away. She doesn't actually have to be always in the lane. She can still be effective getting that triangle active. Feels like they are a little bit all in on the laning phase, but it does feel like if they win the laning phase, then they can just snowball. This is the kind of draft, like you said, they can fight all the time. And if Night Stalker has a really good time early, the game does not feel easy for Balrogs. They'll be under a lot of pressure if that happens. But they need to make it happen. So we got game one. We're underway. You favored Balrogs before we came into this one, Astini. You still feel the same way?
Yeah, I favor Balrogs, but definitely Infinity can pull it. I'd say it's 60-40 to Balrogs. That's my feeling to that match with that draft.
All right, and with 60-40, we are now underway. Let's see how things are going to go here as Balrogs. Off to a good start already, getting a nice little D ward at the very beginning of the game. You always feel very good when you're able to make this happen. You might not need to get a first blood for yourself, but just having a little bit of bonus gold. Who do they give it to? They give it to Draken. I like this. Sometimes you see these LCs get sacked and abandoned by their teams, but in this instance, they're making sure that, hey, here's a little bit of gold for you before you start your game, It's like when you go visit family and your grandma's like, oh, here's a couple bucks, go buy some sweets. Also,
So I guess we had this string muted for draft.
Yeah,
just for the feedback. No?
I fixed the issue. I know exactly what the problem was, but the problem should have gone away. We should be completely fine now. Everything's cool. Everything's cool. Besides, you know how it is. This is Dota 2. We didn't start with a pause, Astini, so we had to have a technical issue. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, which of these lanes here are you expecting us to have to concentrate on the most for the biggest amount of action? I don't think it's going to be this mid lane, It's Kunkka, Mars, whatever. Just trade farm, boys. Who cares? This bottom lane, LC with Skywrath Mage versus the TA and Ogre. You were talking about the fact that the Ogre pick will naturally lead into a TA because of the amount you can get in the laning phase. How do you feel about it now? Are they going to lose Pampalone in the top lane? Infinity almost got first blooded. They'll end up losing a courier, but Pamplona very happy to rather lose a courier. He got the salve off of it, so it's fine. It's not so bad. But he can't get the other one delivered in very easily, so there's a bit more pressure up on top. But Yeah, this bottom lane, talk to us about it here, Astini. What are we expecting to happen on this side of the map?
Yeah, usually when you see Sky and Legion, you really expect that lane to win, and I believe they will get more farm out of that, but the idea here is that Ogre soak up all the damage, so TA can still free farm no matter if like he's dying to open that space. It should be a okay trade-off if Ogre has to die to guarantee that Parker is gonna able to farm. That's what they should be looking here for, but they need to be careful because they can actually kill the TA if they don't play properly.
Yep. These Gareth mage lanes, very contingent on positioning and making sure that you do not overextend. So for now, Parker's still doing a decent job. We haven't seen any of the HP pools dip down too deep. And also, Zisha doing a very good job going in to block this camp. Might end up dying for this though. Parker comes out with the Meld Strike, and they're just going to abandon the poor Skyrath mage. Should be our first blood. Fairy Fire will delay this a little bit. They will be forced to commit the Fairy Fire or the Fire Blast from this Ogre. But Parker, good on the chase, finds first blood. Great way to start the game. And we'll buy some boots for it. You know, a little bit of retail therapy to open up the game here for the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, it's super good for TA to get first blood. That's not what you expect from that hero, especially against Sky Legion. So already a very good start for Parker. Maybe a reason they should maybe respect that hero. It's his best hero during the tournament that every team has been respecting.
We'll see in the next game if they do decide to respect Bennett and how they deal with it here in this opening game one. So we take another look here on the top lane. We almost had Pamplona dying earlier on this Mirana. The lane itself, it's obviously going to be this Winter Wyvern and Mirana's trying to trade hits with one another, but they've done a pretty good job of enabling the Dusa to get her farm here, and there's a lot of harass that they've been throwing onto Mariano. They have the Splinter Blast, Arctic Burn. This is a strength hero, so you do take quite a bit of damage from all these spells, and Burner has been very happy with how things have gone for him so far. Hasn't had to do all that much except sit back, hit creeps, throw out a snake every now and then. You know, Sexy Ogoe is tanking all the damage from Pamplona. You're practically full HP as this Dusa right now. Life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, one thing that should matter on the results of that side lane is actually if Mirana can help TA and oh, they're going, no, they don't go for the Dusa. And if Sky can help Dusa. What is that? It's with stacks. So you can see Skyref's going for stacks now and Mirana isn't. I guess PP will just spot that his Ancient is blocked. So at least on that side, Balrogs, they're doing somehow a better job because they already stacked one camp and dewarded the Ancient.
Yeah. Definitely setting themselves up for success here, and certainly it is the case that when you play with Medusa, you simply cannot afford to ignore the big stacks all across the map. This is a huge source of income for this hero, so they need to make sure that they achieve it for themselves. And like you mentioned, Mirana, Pamplona, we haven't seen him do the same just yet, but the camps are blocked currently, or at least the Ancient stack is, so wouldn't be an effective use of time just now, but you still have TA in the safe lane. At some point, we should see them make that move. We'll wait and see what happens after the Sentry Ward finally expires, but we now finally, Astini, we don't have a choice. We have to talk about it. It's boring as hell, nothing happening, trade farm mid lane. Gosh, this is just two strength heroes wailing at each other, barely doing any damage. Both of them have bottle. They've both been getting water runes. It feels like until there's a big rotation, nothing actually happens in this lane, right?
Yeah, but it's gonna get some action at the 6 minutes mark because the hero that guarantees the power-up rune is gonna have so much advantage. That's when you might expect PP to go try to steal that stacks. So that might be a reason that you don't stack if you play to actually steal enemy stacks, and it's something that I can see they're doing while they go for the Dusa. Berna might be in trouble.
Alright, the Void will come out. Will they follow that up with the Sacred Arrow? Indeed they do. Starfall comes out. Oof, unlucky with the secondary bounce. It hits onto a creep. If that hits Burner, we might be staring at a dead Medusa right now, but unfortunately for the side of Infinity, the RNG not with them just yet. Burner manages to live, gets a shared tango. They don't have an additional salve though, so this will be some time that they can play with the aggression on this side of the map. So things are going to look good for the next minute or two here for Mariano, expecting this Night Stalker to really pick up this CS while the Medusa is so weak.
Yeah, meanwhile, Skyref denies the haste rune, so At least Kanka doesn't get that extra regen, but he will have this guy.
Yep, he's gonna miss the boat actually after the X. It didn't connect flush, so Jisha still alive. The Tidebringer hit will come out. Fire Blast does ensure that PP can make the rundown happen. A lot closer than they wanted it to be, honestly, but they ultimately do manage to find themselves the kill. And exactly like you mentioned, here we go in with the steal on these stacks. PP's like, hey, thanks, Gareth Mage. You know, shout out for your hard work. You get to get killed and you get to give up the stack you made. Awesome. This is a great way to start your game.
Yeah, it was a misinterpretation of mine. I told Sky was helping Deuce out, but seems like he was helping the Kanka with those stacks.
Agent Skywrath Mage, you know, in this game. And with the haste rune deny, though, it does make sure that Kunkka doesn't make a big move, but it also kind of landlocks Robo-Z to the side of the map, right? As Mars, you don't really have, without like a haste rune, an invis rune, you can't just really TP onto the tower and expect to be able to find a good arena at this stage of the game with this hero. Not the same way as Kunkka can drag a hero back. As they're making this rotation, do they have a chance to get this kill in the top lane, Astini?
I think they will get the kill, especially because Berna, he's spotted. Still think he's gonna die.
Let's see if he's gonna get brought down here. He's juking, he's jiving, he's still alive. They will trigger out the Dark Ascension. Burner doing everything in his power to flee, but Sacred Arrow will make the connection, and they have the flapping vision, so easy kill. Pamplona now off to a decent enough start here from getting that bonus gold from the Medusa kill. Failed on the last attempt, but this time with the assistance of PP, they make this happen.
Parker mate.
Parker, inside the first arena of the game, but they don't seem to have the follow-up damage just yet. Parker still fully alive. Here comes the additional spells from Skywrath, finally able to get the kill. Winter Wyvern also showed up to render some assistance. That might put some danger out onto this Ogre. And Draken coming in, looking for the duel attempt. Should be able to find it. Duel onto Ogre. Both only hits this Winter Wyvern, but they have enough to win the duel elsewhere, right in front of the tier 1 tower. PP rushes forward with the Tidebringer Cleave, will eliminate the Winter Wyvern. So they do manage to at least take the life of the Wyvern, but it does come at the cost of both Parker and their own Ogre, and giving up dual damage. Balrogs here, Astini, they strike back, and they strike back hard.
Yeah, it was really weird move by Parker. I was just watching him, like, hoping for the worst, because the worst was clear. Like, Mars was just looking at his face, and he was standing there farming on the low ground. I don't know if he was baiting something, but yeah, he baited. They initiated on him and got the kill.
Looks like Infinity want to try to get kills elsewhere on the map to make up for what happened in this mid lane. You move top for this Winter Wyvern. You'll go ahead trying to flap away. Oh, Arctic Burn save actually will keep him alive. The Sacred Arrow doesn't connect. And after they've used Arrow and X from PP, they actually don't have that much lockdown on the side of Infinity if the Ogre isn't right next to the person with Fire Blast. So just a nice clean escape on top and a little bit of wasted time for this Kunkka. You know, always feels good when the enemy mid laner is not really getting much, but fortunately for them, Mariano stuck around long enough that they still do clean up the kill onto the Wyvern.
And meanwhile, they're chasing Drakel, but they didn't get a kill for the TA. Still, Parker has a nice game. He already has the Dragon Lance. They are really removing Duza's space of farm, of course. She does have the triangle, but even there, like, the Ogre is trying to annoy a bit on that farm.
Yep. He is going to use his body, physically block the camp, not allow another stack to be achieved here for Burner. And we were talking earlier about how necessary it is for this Medusa to get these stacks. And we're seeing that reflected in the net worth, right? She's had so many of her stacks either stolen away or access to them blocked off by the movements of Infinity. And as a result, she's practically bottom of the course. The only hero poorer than her is this Legion Commander, who is also going to show up. Draken looking for a dual kill. It's going to happen, of course. Even before they have Mystic Flare, it's fairly easy for them to get these dual victories. Now plus 20 damage. The question is, can they utilize this to try and open up some more space on the map? They feel really closed in and claustrophobic right now, so tier 1 tower bottom needs to fall, but Astini, it's not easy for them to make these pushes without the Dusa showing up.
Yeah, and even though they get a duo on Ogre, I feel like he's happy about it, because he was just like staying on enemy triangle, trying to remove space from them, scouting 3-4 heroes. So they're pretty aware of that move of Balrogs, and Dusa just showed me, so if they would like to defend, they can. and they do have Dark Ascension. They are smoking to that direction. Feels like they want to fight here.
Yep. Whether or not the tier 1 tower survives feels immaterial. They want to get some kills. Parker still farming in the jungle whilst PP is trying to open up the aggressive space. They're going to go on a little bit of a longer wrap here to make sure that the smoke doesn't break too early. And we now get also the first Moonlight Shadow of the game here, Astini. We're going to see how it goes. Mariano opens up the fight with the Crippling Fear, Dark Ascension. Won't be able to find a big target. They do get the drag back onto Winter Wyvern. However, Pamplona couldn't really find a good target just yet with the Sacred Arrow. They'll isolate Robo-Z, but there's going to be Draken with the press the attack. Absolutely no way to keep that chase going. So they defend the tower. Doesn't feel like the biggest use of their resources, or rather the best one. But they at least cancel the Robo-Z TP out as well. As Parker, he's trying to solo kill Burner. He's going to go for this. He's going to be able to do it. And they're still going to look for the fight. Robo-Z gets out the arena. Both though crashes in on his face. And PP able to get the kill. In a short span of time, on two sides of the map, they find two big cores. The mid and the safe lane are both down for the count. Infinity really looking solid on this map right now.
Yeah, Parker getting that solo kill into Berna, that made such a huge difference because they're like 4 heroes on it. He's going for Sexy Yogi.
Wow.
And he's dead.
Wow. He's got him. Wow, okay.
Yeah, like no matter if Infinity wins this match or not, I'm pretty sure Balrogs will ban that hero. Like, I'm not sure to what point my mic was muted, but what I told is like, if you don't ban it, they are picking it. It was like 100% sure that we were going to see that TA even on a second phase. I don't think you should allow a team as good as Infinity to get their biggest comfort. Look at the net worth of Parker. They're like 5k ahead.
Yep. Parker is really far ahead, and Medusa has been catching up somewhat with her net worth, but she's still 2.5k behind the pace of this Templar Assassin. The full Desolator is done. The only reason she doesn't have it right now is that her courier died on the tier 1 tower, bringing her this first Mithril Hammer, but she has the full D-Lance, full Deso complete, farming very well into getting this Blink Dagger. And her team is buying space around this Roshan area. We've already seen here in this DPC of South America that these teams, when they have the ability to take Roshan and the ability to control the area, they don't delay, they don't wait. They make it happen as early as possible. So Infinity very soon will look like they're the team to do that. There's the Deso arriving, and there's no reason not to get into the Roshan pit. Tumblr's Toy to open it up. We're going to have the big man getting taken away. Does Balrogs try to counterplay this Astini, or do they just try and instead maybe get a push down on this bottom lane?
They won't be here in time. They should just ignore it, try to show the mid lane at least, so when Infinity is done with it, they don't have waves near towers. Really difficult situation, because now Infinity is gonna go for the tier 2 tower, and I'm not sure if they're able to take 2 lives out of this TA. Even with Mars having a DD rune, that might be the cue for them to take the fight, but it's very dangerous. If they don't win that fight, they're gonna lose the game like in 20 minutes.
All right, let's see. They will utilize this double damage rune. They don't have an armlet or anything on Robo-Z to provision that damage, so the rune itself will have to do. Sentry gets dropped, and they don't want to go for this instant D-ward just yet. Zisha, will it get cancelled out on the smoke? Okay, there we go. Big jump in coming in from Robo-Z. Heroes caught inside the arena. They find the Kunkka first. He's already gone. Mariano shows up with the Crippling Fear, trying to help onto Sexy Goe, but nothing doing just yet. Burner opens up space with the Stone Gaze. Will be able to freeze up this Night Stalker on the high ground, but he still has spells. Going back in, looking for the Scarab Mage. A beautiful use of the Cold Embrace to buy some time here. Sky, though, should still end up falling. They get a Winter's Curse, but it connects onto literally nobody. The saddest Winter's Curse of all time. And Burner didn't get the clean escape either. He's stuck behind the tier 2 tower, where the tier 2 tower used to be. In the middle of the fight, Astini, they take the tier 2 and they kill Burner. Oh, that is... You were talking they could lose the fight. That is worse than losing the fight. Losing the Medusa is just terrible. Sure, you got the Kunkka kill, but the fact that Parker gets to stay alive, involved in that whole fight, dish out 1.5k damage, and you do nothing, not even take the first life away from this TA, this is rough place to be in right now for the side of Balrogs.
Yeah, I feel like some concept some teams don't understand is not because the other team wants to fight that you should accept that fight, you know? So if Infinity feels strong enough to fight, that usually means you don't have to. Oh, the duo may run up, might be at least something.
Yep.
But, okay.
Oh wow, but Parker is turning this into a whole lot of nothing, you know, some dual damage. Immediately though, they get the kill onto the Skywrath Mage and then the Winter Wyvern. Certainly not worth it simply for the +10 because he's not even level 12 just yet on Draken. And look how unafraid Parker is. Jumping forward, Burner gets off the Stone Gaze, but the boat will still crash onto your face with the Torrent. Press the attack comes out, but it does not matter. The Meld Strike more than enough damage. Mariano might die on the high ground, indeed he does, but RoboZ very quickly follows him into the grave, and Parker trying to send more of his friends to say hello. Will back off at the last second, but all right, absolutely no way should Parker ever be allowed to play Templar Assassin. This is a bit much at this point in time. 11k net worth. He's 5k up, not just ahead of the enemy team, but up on the enemy Medusa. How on earth is he ever supposed to catch up?
Yeah, I don't think whoever, especially because of what I was saying, like they don't understand that they can just keep fights. They have like Wyvern, amazing clear wave. They have Legion Commander with the overwhelming odds. They have ways of clearing those creeps so they don't get to the tower, but they keep dying.
Yep. You know, one thing about those spells you were mentioning here, Astini, is that they're best used from the high ground when you're in a defensive position already. Not really all that great when you're on the low ground, surrounded directly in the face by the TA. And it seems like a difficult game right now for Balrogs. Draken also showing down bottom, has blink in a few seconds. Should be able to use it and get... Draken, leave the creep. No, Draken, it ain't worth it. Draken, no! Blink, my friend. Blink. Draken's dead. Got too greedy. Stuck around to get those last couple of creeps. Now here comes the boat onto his face. Mariano also showing up with Crippling Fear. They should be able to clean up that kill. At the same time, Mars got brought down by Parker. You know things are bad when your position 1 and your off laner and your mid laner don't have to be in the same place for you to kill core heroes, Astini, as Elsie and Mars die on opposite sides of the map.
Yeah, Parker just so strong with that TA, like the first time where he solo killed Aduza, meanwhile we were watching like a 4v14 fight on bot. He's just doing so much damage and he has the mobility with the dagger. He's very close to that upgraded dagger, the Swift Blink. So I don't see any hopes here for Balrogs. They had amazing high ground defense, but Berna dying again. They just dying all the time, everywhere in the map.
Yep. Balrogs right now, you know, you were talking about how if they lose that one fight that we saw in the top lane, that they went for that big smoke with the double damage rune, that losing that fight might lead to them losing the entire game in 20 minutes. And here we are, and it definitely feels that way. 13k gold lead. Only now does the Aegis expire for Parker. Like, think about how much they got done during the timing of that solitary Aegis. The entire map looks radically different than it did before they went into the Roshan pit. They've taken all the tier 2s. They own the outpost. They own the triangle. Balrogs can practically do nothing. They're smoking just to walk into their own jungle. And it really doesn't feel like they have that many ways of coming back. Like, the Skywrath Mage is level 7 now. Draken at the very least has level 12, but it no longer feels like this combo is even a guaranteed kill anymore with these heroes because they're also so far behind on experience, Astini. Like, nobody has any levels on the side of Balrog.
Yeah, and actually the thing that's gonna counter smoke is Infinity, so they'll just wipe Balrogs on their jungle.
Yep. He started off onto the Skywrath Mage, but not the most appetizing target. You know, you want a little bit bigger quarry. But, you know, still free gold, you'll take it. Why not? Parker, wait, what? Parker got the double? Side blades, good ability. Good itemization from Parker with the Swift Blink. And dude, Astini, so Infinity right now have 24 kills, right? Parker has 12 of them. He has half their kills for Infinity, and he has double the net worth of this Medusa. What? What kind of performance is this from this TA?
Yeah, I was really like hoping for Balrogs that they would shut this hero down on the laning stage, but he got first blood and he just had free farmed the entire game, besides the time he stepped too greedy on the mid lane and gave like a good Mars Arena kill. But besides that, just one death. So besides that, no deaths.
Yep. Practically a perfect game so far from Parker, having a very, very good time on the map. You know, and one of the things we spoke about as well was if they do well in their lanes and Night Stalker does well, then they should be able to have a cracker of a game. And Infinity certainly have done so. I'm very glad that Mariano in this game especially went for this Blink Dagger early, pre-BKB on this Night Stalker. It's created so much space on the map for them. And one thing that's really terrifying me here, Astini, is we actually haven't even seen that many successful uses of the Moonlight Shadow. It's happened like once, that went really well for them, but for the most part, they haven't needed it at all. They've just been running headlong into Balrog and being like, well, you can see us coming, but can you do anything about it? It doesn't seem like it. So, like they'll still have that as an additional fallback layer. If the game does start to go poorly, they still have overall this vision advantage, and they're going to try to utilize that vision advantage. Oh, Draken, they duel the Kunkka. Mystic Flare is down, but Pamplona jumps into the flare to dish out or distribute the damage very well. LC dies immediately afterwards. Winter Wyvern taken too. And they're trying to escape with the Skywrath Mage, but we both know that's not possible. Mariano with a double kill. 3 heroes down, and I think we are getting to that point where there's no way that the conversation in the server, in the team right now, isn't about game 2 and how to recover in the second matchup, because I don't see a plan for how to come back in this one.
Yeah, because that's the thing you mentioned, like, they just run into Balrogs heroes, and Balrogs accept it. Like, okay, come here, yeah, you wanna fight? We are giving you that fight. So they're not, like, kiting the team fights, which you might look like, okay, they're trying to fight, that's super good, but no, that's a terrible decision. Like, you're 15k behind. What do you need to do? You skip team fights. You shove waves far away from you, and then when you have the right items, you can try to go for pickoffs. But if you see Infinity, 5-man moving into your jungle, why do you take that fight?
Yeah. Why take that fight? It doesn't seem like a great idea, especially like you say, when you're this far behind, and when you know that they are better posed and better capable of taking fights than you are. And now, Infinity will try and make sure that they're strong enough for the next ones. You know, one thing I've loved seeing about this team is even when they are in commanding positions, they still will go for this quote-unquote safe play that helps them. Like Pamplona now, quickly going to break the smoke, make sure that they still have vision control if they are going for this Aegis. This is lovely to see because Balrogs, they smoked out somewhat desperately, and they'll find an arena out onto Parker, but Parker almost killed Draken, but they finally kill Parker. They get the damage out. It does require everything they have, but they bring down the nasty TA. They lose LC for this though, but definitely hashtag worth. How much gold was it? 848 gold for ending that streak. All right, RoboZ, definitely in a much happier place now. And that's going to stop the Roche. It doesn't necessarily turn the game completely around. They're still super far ahead on Infinity. Parker is still by far the strongest hero on the map. But they do get the kill. They do prevent the side of Infinity getting the Aegis. And they do get to extend this game a little while longer here, Astini. But can they do this again? Once Parker respawns, do Balrogs have the ability to keep killing her and keep that TA depressed? Or do they just have to figure out some way to steal this Aegis right now while they still have a small chance?
Well, they had the DD, right? One gift from Ice Frog to see if they have a small window to come back. So they should try to take that fight. It's 5 against 4. But now they are not fighting, so I'm not sure.
It's 4 vs 4 now, and they're gonna go with the duel onto Mariano. They do manage to also take out Zisha on the back line of the fight. Draken didn't have enough during his duel to kill Mariano, but this Winter's Curse goes out. It will be able to bring down the Ogre Magi. RoboZ getting away from this. Will pop his BKB, doesn't want to get dragged back by the Kunkka. Ogre is brought back, and so is Zisha on the Skywrath Mage. Arrow flying forth. It connects onto Wyvern as Mariano also finds the jump. They X back the Skywrath Mage. They're looking for this dieback here. They will be protected by Burner on this Medusa, triggering the Stone Gaze. It's gonna buy a little bit more time. So Infinity. The sad thing is, you were talking about how it's 4v5 now for them, so they should go for that opportunity. They turned it into a 4v4, and even after the buyback, they still fought 4v5. Parker just respawned now and didn't join the fight, just went straight into the Roshan pit. It's like, you guys have got this, you don't need me.
Yeah, that's how strong they are. Not only the TA, Kunkka has 3k more net worth than the Mars. It's even... Oh, Dusa,
oh no,
Burna.
Oops. Oops. Yeah. That's rough. That's painful. That's very painful.
Yeah, that's the thing. If he had maybe Eye of Skadi, they could like just go for Roche with that DD while TA was dead. But he doesn't have items because he's been either joining the fights or just getting picked off at the entrance of his base, so he's not being able to scale. Which is super weird, because if his team is picking up all those fights, he should be able to farm the other side of the map. But Infinity, they're just so strong that TA can solo kill him. Even the Kanka might be able to solo kill him.
Yeah. We've been, talking about Parker a lot, but, PP has also done a magnificent job, and there's no slouch in the damage department in this game. Halberd, BKB, a Brigand's Blade, and I presume this Hyperstone is going to lead into an AC for this Kunkka. Whilst Infinity just clean up the first lane of Rax. Literally no counterplay from Balrogs. And they're not done with this. We see sometimes teams are like, we've gotten the one lane of Rax, we're good. But why would they ever stop? They still have this Aegis for another 3.5 minutes. You've got the Lincoln Sphere out on Parker. It just picked up a Quicksilver Amulet and is building into Butterfly. You're so far ahead right now. You at the very least want to still put more pressure on the tier 3. And the AC just showed up for PP. Alright, so between AC, Meld Strike, and the Desolator. Woo! Physical damage. Woo! And there we see it. There we see it. 2-shot on the Skywrath Mage. Bye!
They got also the Legion.
LC does get saved a little bit by the Cold Embrace and as well as by the opening space of the Stone Gaze, but Parker jumps in, 2-shotting the Winter Wyvern. How many shots for Burner? Not sure how many, but not enough for Burner to feel safe. Has to flee into the fountain. Robo Z trying to hold them back, but no possibility of making that happen. They're diving you in the fountain, chasing you into where you think you're the safest. And Balrog Esports, seeing no way out, seeing no possible recovery, will just do it. They'll call GG. They throw in the towel here. Game number 1 taken in emphatic fashion by the side of Infinity. Woo! Parker TA seems like a good hero here, Astini. Seems like a very good hero.
Yeah, there is a reason why all the teams that faced Infinity banned that hero first phase.
Yeah.
And there might be a reason why Balrogs, they were confident enough that they could fight that hero, but now I'm pretty sure they will ban it. Especially if you pick Medusa, which is countered on the carry matchup by that hero. So yeah, kind of they leave Infinity play their best, and well, the best of Infinity is very, very strong.
Yep, very, very, very strong. Like if we look at this net worth graph at the very end, look how steep the gaps become between TA, Kunkka, and everybody else. Like Kunkka's already like outlandishly farmed in this game, but this was just an obscene performance coming in from them. And at the end of the day here, Infinity, it also didn't really feel like they were ever under that much pressure at no stage of the game, right? Which is kind of surprising. You see this Balrogs lineup, you see all these ultimates, you see the combo potential. You say to yourself, okay, at least 1 or 2 fights, it should look like they are just a dominant force and the dominant party in that engagement, but it never happened here. The entire game, Infinity just controlled from start to finish. Like there were a couple of kills in the early laning phase, and the first couple of usages of Arena were decent from Robo Z, but I don't know about you, Astini. It really felt like Infinity was playing like a full team, and Balrogs had a lot of heroes, but we never really got to see the synergy with all these heroes being put together.
Yeah, feels like Infinity entered ready for the match, while Balrogs, they still kind of warming up, so I want to see them play their full, what they can show on the second match, because definitely Balrogs, they can play better than what they've showed at this first match.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've seen Balrogs play a lot better. Their first win was quite emphatic here in the lower division of the SA DPC, so we need to see them recover, pick themselves up, and see whether or not they can bring their best foot forward against Infinity, find out a way to deal with Parker, probably just ban TA, or if Infinity will find themselves snagging the 2-0, going 3-0 up in the group, and pretty much guaranteed finding themselves in contention for that top 2 spot. Of course, there's no guarantees in Dota, but given the fact that Balrogs is arguably the other strongest team that Infinity would be having to come across, if they can take another win like this, they certainly seem like shoo-ins for the upper division. But we'll see. A lot can still change, a lot can still happen, and another draft might have a lot of dynamics going on. So Game 2 will answer a lot of these questions for us, and we'll see how that goes once we get into it. This is Snare and Astini bringing you the lower division matchup between Infinity and Balrogs Esports. Game 1 done, Game 2 coming. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more Dota 2 action.